Evelyn to Philip, January 3rd, 1944. This letter is misdated as 1943, but it should be 1944. Darling hubby, received your December 11th free mail letter yet today. So your stronger feelings for me would scorch the paper. Ditto. I had Lou mail off the package today. Sorry, I didn't know you needed hankies, but I'll be sending another package off in the near future, and I'll include them. I'm enclosing a lock of Adele's hair as you requested, baby, and hope that soon you'll see her personally. She's positively darling, and she'd be your little girl now. She understands everything. I fill up whenever I try to describe her to you. I received my check, and again it was only $62. I'm hoping that $80 comes through soon, because I find it tough to manage on $62 without working. I gave my mom $15 on the $45 I owe her for my coat. I gave Mom $20 and $2 extra, my portion of the plumber bill to repair the toilet after Harry dropped a page 2 comb in it and stopped it up. I finished Adele's pink sweater and she'll wear it tomorrow. I'm going to make Mom one, then something for Ethel's baby, and then Goldie's baby. Goldie started her 5th month on January 10th and is beginning to show. She dropped a lot of weight in the beginning and looks swell despite the tummy. Guess that will keep me busy for a while. I also want to make Adele another fine sweater. She has outgrown all others except the blue and yellow ones I made her, and they are too heavy for the house. And a gray vestie for myself to wear with my suit, if I find time. Think I will? Adele knows how to kiss me lips to lips. It tickles her down to her toes, just like your kisses used to tickle me. Sigh. Incidentally, what do you mean, page 3, by saying the novelty of your being home would wear off soon after you are home? In the time we were together, passes and furloughs too, and it is considerable, that feeling never wore off, and I never intend to let it. I thought my actions when you were home were sufficient. I love you so much, darling. You'll be hearing that phrase the rest of your life as far as I'm concerned. Better get used to it. Ben complains to the high heavens about his life in Australia. If he's talking that way, things must be tough. Harry arrived safely, but they still don't know where he is. When I awoke this morning, there was a blanket of snow over all. As the day wore on, it rained and gradually the snow disappeared. The weather today was downright miserable. I can't make up my mind about what to send Jack N., page 4, for his birthday, January 22nd. If I can't make up a nice package, I'll send cash. Don't forget to congratulate him. Notice the color of the paper. Finally managed to get blue. Pied stationery. You've got it, mister. Got a lovely V-mail from our Jack today. He asks for a snap of you, saying that he has a snap of everyone but you as you look at present. And being so fond of his big brother, he thought he was entitled to one. Whatever happened to that large picture you promised me? Time passes quickly, sweet, and I'm looking forward to the day when I'll be able to draw you close and tell you of my love for you. If I could only do so at this moment. Your Ev. P.S. A toast to the German Navy. Bottoms up. Don't tell me you've heard that too. Philip to Evelyn, January 3rd, 1944. Ev, dearest, I didn't write last night because I got into a card game and hated to quit when my luck was running. So while you are out one letter, I'm in about $9. Think it was a good deal, sweet? In the afternoon, after a few mailless days, except for those I received from Eddie P. and Brother Jack, I finally received 2 letters from you. But you'll be surprised to learn which ones. They were dated December 2nd and 3rd. Can you imagine? I think I've already received all your mail up to and including December 14th, so you can understand why I was disappointed when I noticed the dates. However, I did enjoy reading both letters, because one of them contained Adele's pictures and the other contained a few items that were new to me. For the first time, I learned why you decided not to spend that $50 as I had instructed. I think I've said enough heretofore on the subject, and you know my opinion in the matter, so I won't enlarge on it at this time, except to advise you that from now on I will send you the money I promised and no more. That will give you about $110 per month, or more than I could give you than I ever could give you as a civilian. I am not taking this course out of rancor, baby. It's just a matter of principle. I don't want you to use any money I don't earn legitimately, either for your own keep or Adele's. If I'm lucky enough to win a few dollars, all well and good, but I don't want you to depend on it for your bread and clothing, as you imply in your letter. You say you are doing without, so that you might have the things you want and need so badly. Frankly, I don't understand that sort of talk. The way I figure, you shouldn't have to do without anything, unless you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, as I've known you to do on occasion. The thing that bothers me most, though, page 2, is the fact that you took it for granted that that money belonged to you after I specifically stated what I wished to buy with it and for whom. If I had earned that money, I wouldn't presume to tell you what to do with it. I look on all such wages as entirely your property. Any money I make gambling, however, is not by any means to be considered earnings or to be used as such. It sets a bad precedent. I think you will see the sense behind all this, baby, and understand my precautions to see that your past failing is not repeated. There is no argument about the second $50 I sent you, because I specified that that was yours, a gift if you wish. If you don't understand any or all of the above, honey, don't hesitate to say so, and I'll be glad to explain further. If you do understand, then this will be my final word in the matter. January's allotment will be consolidated with February's. I'll try to send $30 monthly. I hope for not too many months, which represents the maximum amount I can spare from my regular pay. The pictures of the pumpkin were the best yet. Everyone agrees that she is a sweet kid, and it goes without saying that her dad is prouder than proud. But I'm still curious as to the color of her hair and eyes. Can it be, as the pictures suggest, that she is a black-eyed brunette like her mommy? She has grown surprisingly, and at first glance, it was something of a shock. I had to look hard to recognize the Adele that I knew. The new edition, though, has lost not one whit of the charm of the baby I knew, and has acquired femininity to boot. I'll admit she looks a great deal like me, and for the life of me, I don't know whether to be glad for her or not. Be that as it may, I want very much to hold and fondle her pudgy little self, and it isn't very comforting to send her my kisses through the mail, but I'm hoping for better days. In the meantime, honey, lavish a double dose of love and care. Page 3, on her to recompense for the lack of fatherly affection. It is your misfortune, darling, that my life in the ETO is very unspectacular and therefore utterly useless as far as making letters interesting is concerned. But I rather like the easygoing monotony of the routine, because as you know, I'm a very unspectacular guy at heart. I hear talk among the boys about how disappointed they are at the lack of action, but I think most of it is mere bluster. They don't exactly hanker after the kind of action some of our boys are enjoying in Italy, and I get to wondering just what their conception of the word is. I have no illusions on the subject, and while I'd fight as willingly as the rest if called upon, I am at the same time grateful for the present inaction. The sands are rapidly running out for the enemy, never doubt it, and the coming victory will be cause for the greatest rejoicing the world has ever known. But I can't forget that the martyrs who made the victory and the rejoicing possible will not be there to share it. Neither will their loved ones have cause for rejoicing. I think long and often of the irony and mockery of war, and the more I think about it, the more I hate it. So, Chippy, if I seem unduly depressed when everyone else is demonstratively happy at the end of the war, you'll know that I am remembering the givers of the peace. I'm hoping, sweetheart, that tomorrow will bring more recent word of you and Adele and the folks. God bless you all and keep you safe. My everlasting love to my own Chippies. Give Mom my love and ask her why she didn't write to your adoring Phil. P.S. Has Mom's allotment been increased? P.S. Junior, as Red used to say. I'm not returning the proofs just yet, and if Wolpe doesn't like it, he can lump it. P.P.S. I too like the serious pose best, but I still think Claire Pruitt can do better. Letter from Jack Strong and Phil's brother, dated January 3rd, 1944. Hello, Phil. 'Tis now my turn to offer apologies for being so darn lax in writing to you. I have no excuse in the offering. Received a letter from Ed the other day, and she gave out with the news of our fighting relatives. Yes, she had told me of Sid Brown's breakdown, of your visit to Harry Wyman, and that he had been shipped to France on limited service, of Eddie's return to the States, of Milk Brown's daring episodes with the Jap rats. But the most shocking news that she had related to me was of Betty's death. I hadn't known of her being ill recently, and am at a loss as to the cause of her death. Ev didn't go into detail, for she thought that Gloria would, and vice versa. I know that when you heard of the Philippines being invaded, you were wondering if I was in on the deal, but as you can see by my return address, I'm still at the same base. I am doing the same work, but have added responsibilities, for I am chief clerk of my section, hence the promotion to sergeant. Things are pretty much the same with me. Haven't had my furlough yet, and don't have the faintest idea as to when I get it. I certainly would like to get down to Australia for a few weeks. Staying in a limited area with civilization far behind for 16 months. Page 2 is rather a boring way to spend one's time in the Army. My furlough papers were already in and approved by my commanding officer when an order came through canceling all leave to the land down under. Oh well, I'm a hell of a lot better off than many GIs, so it isn't as big a disappointment to me as one would think. I found out that a furlough to Australia would not affect my rotation, so if the order canceling leaves there is rescinded, I'll undoubtedly go. For a while it looked like the Huns were going to give us a go, but Patton and his army certainly changed the situation. I hope to God that Germany will be crushed in the early months of 1945. Otherwise, I can't even see the end of the Japs by 47. Phil, I sincerely wish that in this year you will be able to return to that most wonderful place on earth, home. I wish you all the joy and happiness which you rightly deserve. Please don't seek vengeance on this worthless brother of yours and answer promptly. I once more promised to do the same, and this time intend to keep to it. So long, Phil. May God bless you and keep you safe from harm, namely flying bombs. I am still your kid brother, Jack. This is another letter from Evelyn to Phil dated January 3rd, 1944. It's a V-mail. My darling, I'm really at a loss for words this evening. And furthermore, I'm at a loss as to what to think concerning the holdup of your mail. Here it is, the 3rd day of January, and your last letter to me was dated the 9th of December. That's almost 4 weeks ago, and it is about the worst situation I can remember. I'm way overdue, so something better turn up darn soon, or else. Harry got his retirement tax from the government in the form of a check for $155. Goldie expects hers almost any day now. That's the one good point about working for the government. Months later, you're still getting paid off. Ray is here for dinner this evening, and I'm going to try to get to a movie with her, for I'm way overdue on that too, and just can't seem to get to a movie for any money. Adele simply refuses to go to sleep, and since she becomes too unruly with anyone else, I must stay in, even though my work may be finished. I'm sort of looking forward to my New York trip in the hope that I'll have some time all to my little self. I spoke to Dot this morning, and it may be that she'll rejoin Snuff for another month alone. Her folks have been talking about it, and she's keeping very still, hoping that they will reach a favorable decision on their own. It certainly would be nice if it could be arranged. I had an exceptionally busy day at the office and hardly had a minute to breathe. The rush is on, and then some. By the way, I stopped up at the bank before going to work and deposited $40 of my check to our account. I shall continue doing this for the next few months, and then I shall start buying bonds again. Our bank account is up to $250. By the way, I have not received your November bond as yet, and since it is also way overdue, I would suggest that you have it traced, if that is possible. I don't think it would be held off so long unless something happened. There must be a way of checking. Do you have a receipt for your outlay? We've had freezing cold weather both yesterday and today, though today was not quite as bad as yesterday. The days seem to be getting a wee bit longer, for I noticed when we left the place this evening that it was rather light for after 6. There isn't another solitary thing I can think of to say, and since I haven't done so badly with this sheet, I'll ask your pardon if I take my leave abruptly. I never tire of telling you, my dearest, that I love you ever so dearly and that I miss you keenly. I'm especially anxious to hear from you, sweet, for I certainly need some spirit lifting of late. Once the mail comes through, I'll be immensely relieved. Good night, dear. I am your Ev.